Hello everyone, this is Ketter with Hot Takes, back here for match 3 of our Blue-Red Kiln Fiend video, and we are on the play for once, so let's see what we can screw up. Yeah, we'll keep this one. Just gonna run out Canal and... Nah, I think I'm actually gonna play a Mountain on the 1. Our opponent looks like they're on the Mulligan bus. Hopefully they get off at the first stop. Pass F6. If our opponent leads on any sort of creature, we'll bolt it. Looks like they're not going to, so then we will actually untap and Canal thing. Yeah. Let's see where we're at first with interaction. Okay. Terminate, bolt, elect. Okay, let's just start this. Terminate, snap, task, bolt, K command, elect. So as of now, you have a lightning bolt, so I am not as concerned about the quality of my Kiln Fiend. Sure, yep. So we're going to get our 7 cracking in on the 1, which I think is a pretty good place. Sure. Manamorphose 1. Red. Manamorphose 2. Red. We're going to put back in red. Red. And then we go Scalding Tarn, Kiln Fiend, and attack for a small amount. Kind of bummed if our opponent finds the black source, because they will have the sequence that they need to keep the old team alive. I assume we get an EOT bolt on this Mamma Jamma into an untapped No Swamp. Poor flavor. Really what we're waiting on. Okay. Yep. So I'm pretty sure our opponent should just... Well, no. We did leave up the blue mana. One of the downsides, I would say, of playing this deck, especially on Magic Online, is that your sequences are typically, pretty simple questions. You just kind of, this, that, the other. But what really gets people is what your opponents have to go through and their thought patterns. Yours are, I'm not going to say easy, as match one demonstrated, quite difficult. But I see opponent's going to go for the upkeep terminate. Guess so. So we'll get in for one here. Make sure our opponent doesn't try to get sneaky with a bolt or something. Okay. Okay. Our opponent, by the looks of it, just has one removal spell they get to present on this turn. They could, possibly produce no, because it's a 3 mana. So the terminate's gone. Snap, Tassiger, K command, Electrolyze, and then one fresh one. £2 there. Okay. Okay. 4, 7, 8, 9. Well, I think just another spell gets him. Get ya, opponent. Get ya. Yep. So, unless my opponent has Slaughter Pact, we should be in good shape. Fortunately, it is literally every card. All right, no Slaughter Pact. Cool. Let's see. We can cut bolts, I believe, are a pretty quick and easy cut, but we are looking for a lot of other cards. So I actually don't think we Vapor Snag, and I don't want to give our opponent a blocker, so we I want to cut a 2 of here. And this is where I think there's a few different lines that could be taken. But I think what we're going to go with is, since this is the controlling matchup, we're going to cut the explosive cards and the mutagenic growths. I might also want to cut the Vapor Snags, but our opponents only showed us one real way to interact there, so we do need to cut... Oh, sorry. Actually, yeah, we'll cut all the growths. I actually am going to leave in the bolts here. They can still be thrown at the face, you know, kind of tossed around different targets. Those seem better than the mutagenic growths, even though those act as a counterspell. Maybe I wanted to keep 2 growths, you know, just for... Yeah. I'll reverse the sideboarding if we go to a game 3. I definitely want the growths as a counter for some of the spot removal our opponent can present. You know, is it or K command, bolt, and the like with our deck? They count as a counterspell, so worth keeping there. Nether control deck out of our opponent. Oh, hey, look, it's Jenga. Let's I actually wanted to point this out, and this is one of the reasons why. Let's actually go back to that. Oh, we can't because we're in our match now. Well, anyway, Jenga has 7 undefeated trophies with this deck. 7. We're gonna mulligan because, yeah, that's what's important. Yep, put that on top as well. So we're gonna go Swift Spear Probe one time, see what our opponent wants to present. I imagine them going discard spell will probably take our Swift Spear. They might be a little miffed. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. Well, we will happily oblige with one of these. And then... So it's actually Grixis Delver, not Grixis Control. So we might be a little misboarded, but I am confident that we will end up being in the right place in the long run. The question is do I want to run this out now or later? And actually going to hold on to it for now. Might as well take a look next turn, get the extra prowess trigger in. You know, knowing what your hand is now versus later doesn't make a difference. It actually gets better, you know, as you wait turns, because if our opponent wants to do things such as... Please no blind flip, alright. If our opponent wants to do such hot things as draw more cards, maybe they'll cast, you know, Serum Visions here, thinking they want to try to set up... They want to try to set up their next draw step. So 2 mana? What did you... Oh, they thought covered first. Okay. Oh, I gotcha. Oof. Okay. Alright. So if we could beat this Tassiger, which is what Crypt Tarn Canal. See if we can bluff an attack out of our opponent here. Yep. So we snuck one in there. We're actually not going to do anything here either. We're just going to wait. I don't think there's any reason to cast Sleight of Hands. Maybe get a Prowess Trigger next turn. Prowess Trigger, Prowess Trigger. Yeah. Oh, that's something to keep in mind. 2 Terminates milled for our opponents. That's definitely what we're looking for. Reveal the Thought Scour. Okay. Okay, so we'll go to 14. I think I just get red. Okay, so now we're just waiting to see how our opponent attacks back. I think what we actually want to do is go Island Sleight of Hand, and then if our opponent responds with the Bold, as they should, we then follow up with the Manamorphose. Just save it. Yeah, we'll do that. Give us 2 Prowess Triggers. I don't know if our opponent's going to let these resolve. Kind of hope they do. It'd be really great. Looks like they did. So then we can bluff. Interesting. So we get to put one of these in our hand. I think I want the Faithless Looting here more than the other thing. So then we get to go red. Boop, boop. Maybe I'm supposed to get a blue there, but I figure we draw a brick there. Throw this out there. Actually, we're just going to be big enough that Tassiger doesn't like. Tassiger could block. Yeah, this is going to be great. This is going to be a good turn. We're going to discard this Killing Fiend. Our Swift Spears are going to be like 5/9s or some shenanigan-y type thing. Oh, that's what I messed up. Yeah, our opponent's going to bolt here. Didn't really have a sequence there that let us not have, you know, a massive bolt thrown at our face. Yeah, I was excited at the wrong decision point. This is the point where our opponent gets to blow up our creatures pretty easily. So we're going to have at least one creature big enough to attack through. Yeah, so this is where if you have the mutagenic, the game just like ends on the spot almost, which is fine. Red. Go with the blue. Okay. Little looting here. If I just go red like I believe I'm supposed to. If I played a land this turn. Yeah. So let's discard. So it's actually a weird spot. 1, 2, 3. Set myself up for a little bit of punishment on this one. I fully expect to get blocked by our esteemed opponent. Yeah, I think the deck there wanted to actually hand that one to me, because if I could draw Bolt, I mean, we like bolt the Aberration, bolt my opponent's face, attack in, and force the chump with the Tasigur unless they can show us the Murderous Cut. Our opponent should also know the block is pretty safe. We would have Mutagenic Growthed as was appropriate when they responded with their Lightning Bolt, because 2 attackers here, easily locks the game up. Unfortunately, we just didn't have the other 1 mana interaction that we needed in that decision point. So maybe we're supposed to wait. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have the interaction that we would like. Our opponent can snap Bolt. We can then follow up with fetch for a thing, do a thing, stuffing things. We'll bolt the Aberration here when our opponent attack us for 7, eh? Okay, fair. Just gonna pass back. Ooh. Nothing fancy about it. This is definitely gonna get bolted. Ooh, maybe I'm just supposed to bolt this on my turn. Get my Swift Spear trigger, but I think my opponent probably would have said, nah, that's okay, I'm gonna respond at that point. Target that, so that will elicit my bolt, which is a good bolt. Try to cut some of the damage out here. Half the block so we don't die to Snap Bolt from our opponent. Just going to fetch up another island here, minimize the damage we're taking. Cast this Sleight of Hand. It's actually interesting. Do we want a Dispel or a Reveler here? I think we actually want a Reveler. Okay, deal 2. Little chip action. If our opponent has like the EOT Bolt, we can cope. Definitely going to be a chump block here. Now if they have the EOT removal spell into the untapped Bolt, we're dead. So we know where they have the snap. So we're just trying to live through removal spell. Just give you a 1-mana rebuy. I don't want to give you a chump blocker. That doesn't seem like good value. Not going to give you the actual good cards in your graveyard. Vapor Snag might have to sneak its way in. Lightning Bolt would have, or Mutagenic Growth would have won the game on the appropriate turn. A lot of smaller things could have been changed, but we're going to try to battle through the best we can with what we got. And see if our opponent gives us a way to steal one. Watch me as I chump block. Block. See how good I am at blocking? I did it. Okay. Gonna fetch a red source and then cast a Reveler and kind of be in the same position. Discard 3 spells. 3 spells. We'll just cast this for mana, because that's how we roll. Okay. Static. Mire Tarn. Alright. Same thing here. Discard 2 of these. Seems fine. All right. So that's actually an interesting thought, is that if I don't attack with Swift Spear, Bedlam Reveler, yeah, we're going to go with that line, actually, because we get to kill our opponent next turn, like, comfortably with this on the Reveler, so we're going to hold this back as a chump blocker. Seems like a much better sequence than what we were proposing otherwise. Hopefully our opponent flips. So you can have a... Serum Visions, because I want you to crack your fetch land. Yeah. Getting tighter and tighter here. Or they have another draw effect, and they're just going to embarrass me. That is the more likely sequence of events. Like, ult the Swift Spear, kill the Swift Spear, K-command the Swift Spear. Actually, if you K-command the Swift Spear, I'm just going to take your damage. If you bolt the Swift Spear, I'm just going to take the damage. If you kill this... 2, 3, 4. Well, actually, we're going to chump to not die to a bolt, because that's also a snap that would kill us, but a snap would also get the terminate. So let's go with... I feel it's more likely that I'm going to be able to force my opponent to have another Terminate. Terminator or Murderous Cut. It can't be a chump blocker. I mean, it's a pretty specific set of requirements that has to flop out of their hand if they want to get us. And we have a little bit of digging to do. Okay. So now I'm what? Looking for a Swift Spear? That's not a good place to be. Bottom. We're digging for Swift Spear at this point, right? That's actually interesting. Bottom, top. So I'm gonna looting. Probably end up having to pitch. Actually. Yeah. So I'm going to cast the Manamorphose here to draw the card that I know I want to keep out of my opponent's hand, or off the top of my deck. And then that will give me... Oh, nope, that's incorrect. Now I open myself up to... My apologies, folks. I'm just supposed to Faithless Looting there, draw it, discard it, cast it, and then try to get my opponent on the crackback. Well, now I'm just hoping not to get crushed. Sure. Yeah. Okay, well, our opponent's gonna have a pretty good attack on us next turn. Unfortunately, we can't just kill him with this because we're silly. Keep the Manamorphose in good shape. Just gonna go to 1 and hope we can sequence a spell off the top. I think we're giving one away here. Yeah. Oh my goodness. We cast Faceless Looting. Yeah, alright, we're gonna concede this. That was my fault. We'll go to the next game. So we cast Faithless Looting in our first combat step there. So our opponent brought in an answer for the Pyromancer, and I don't want to leave in bolts. So I'm going to bring in Vapor, Snags, and Gross. Snag just seems good to mess with Delvers and Tassigers. Especially the Tassiger side of things. That's a card that we're pretty worried about. The deck tried to give me that game 2 there as well. So I actually feel like probably be 3-0 at this point with the deck. Hopefully we'll just have a good sequence in game 3. A threat dense hand is what we're looking for. So decks like these are the ones where, or just say these combo. I mean, this is a combo deck. This one's definitely interesting in that it is still styled towards being a beatdown deck. It feels like it has just a lot of sequences off the top where you're just like so far ahead. We're going to keep, because I'm going to go Serum Visions off of a Steam Vents. And then we'll land a turn 2 Thing in the Ice, and hopefully that'll be enough. Let's see if our opponent topped or bottom there. Bottom. All right, so we're going to go to 19, 17, Serum Visions. We see, okay, top and bottom. Maybe, you know, we do, or maybe we are supposed to trim a Battle Rage. That actually seems a little better for us than what the growths offer. I do think, though, if we can get that big, I mean, we do have a big flip turn if I can draw another land, another spell. Blue, blue. Kind of expect to get spell snared. Yep. I might regret that shuffle, or that bottom on that Thing in the Ice. I think that's a card that I'm supposed to be pretty happy to get my hands on, so let's go you. Ow. I hate it when this happens, though. Okay, alright, we're in Scour, Bolt, Terminate, Brutality, Mountain. Shuffled that Thing in the Ice back around. Maybe we can put ours in play. Definitely want to eat through this Terminate if given the opportunity. Well, I mean, it looks like our opponent is digging for a black source here. So that's stranding a bunch of their hand. I mean, at this point, though, they just have a bunch of cards they don't have any relevance on. There's an Angler as well. I'm glad I brought in these Vapor Snags. They might not be exactly what we want. It looks like our opponent's just dumping so many cards it doesn't matter, but we'll take our suffering in silence. Yeah. Ow. Bolt, Terminate, Brutality, Static, Delver, Impulse. Interesting. Okay. So You are welcome to it. I imagine this is getting banned. Yeah. Just chose one mode. So I want my opponent to cast a Delver. Put him to 14. I wonder if they see that sequence. So if they take a Battle Rage and play Delver, we win with a 1 mana or a free spell. If they take a Mutagenic Growth, play a Delver, I think our sequence is the same. So they took that, which means they're definitely not worried about... Okay. And we're just going to pass. We'll probably end up casting one of these Battle Rages, you know, on, I guess, like our opponent's creature. It doesn't really matter. Them having the Terminate up is definitely going to prove to be tough. Okay, so it looks like they bricked. I can't block the... Well, I actually could block here. Yeah, I will block, because then I growth pre-combat. Oh, no. I block. I let them bounce. If my opponent bolts, I respond with growth, and then they respond with terminate. We let that go. We're then looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, we're then like basically looking at a... Yeah. Sure. One, two, three, four. This is 5. Okay. Cast this here. Okay. I'm just gonna cast this here. And then pass. Maybe we'll get a chance to suit this up with some stuff. Get it big and beefy. Maybe we won't. Our opponent has an impulse, so we'll be able to counter with growth. And they did terminate already. So now I'm expecting a bolt out of them. Okay. 6-4. Let's see. Just got a few more. Okay, so we take 3, go to 6. Okay. Might just be getting bolted out here. All right. Okay. Well, got snap bolted out of that. So definitely had to take the opportunity in game 2. We had to Faithless Looting for 7-14. Yeah, pretty. The win was there. It was just on board. That's my fault for not checking my graveyard again and staying on top of things. So this was Ken Ketter with Hot Takes. Thank you for checking in here for match 3. This deck looks like the realest of deals. Maybe if I piloted a little better. So join us for match 4 and 5. Thank you so much.